What is up, everybody? It's Cobes here, and today I am back with the Fortnite weapon tier list. I feel like there are many different ways I could do this. I could rank them from worst to best, or I could do them by my personal favorites and least favorites, and that's what I'm going to do. So make sure to tell me what your favorite weapons inside of Fortnite are. The link to this tier list will be in the description if you want to do it yourself. Make sure to look in the description and also send it to me on Twitter if you end up completing it. Starting out with the automatic sniper, I have to put it in F tier. I feel like there's no reason for this sniper to be inside the game. I like my snipers to be deadly. One shot, maybe two shots if I hit 2 body shots. But this one, 10 body shots, 30 body shots, I don't know. I don't want to tickle the enemy hoping he stands still long enough laughing at my weak shots to actually shoot a deadly shot. I want to shoot an unexpected deadly shot at someone. That's why this is an F tier. Moving on to the storm sniper, I have to put it in A tier. Let's say you took the ability of the storm sniper and put it on the automatic sniper. I would probably put it in C tier maybe. But since this weapon is actually deadly and hits for high numbers, I feel like it deserves A tier. It's so useful for tryharding or competitive play, and I also love having the ability to know that I have to run across the whole map and I'm most likely gonna die in storm. That's why I love this sniper. Moving on to the scar, you have to put it in S tier. And you know what? This just reminded me because I'm thinking of the timeline of the scar. People used to pick the blue AR over the purple scar because they thought it was better. I don't know why that pisses me off so badly. Oh my God. They're so elite that they think a blue AR, they're so much smarter than everyone else. They're so much smarter than Epic Games themselves to think that a blue AR is better than a purple scar. I hate those people. If you once were that person, I still hate you to this day. I think this weapon has almost always been balanced, and it's just an amazing weapon. It deserves S tier. For me, the AR deserves A tier. I feel like it's always been a balanced weapon. It's just a little bit worse than the scar. Moving on to the bolt action sniper rifle, I love it. I love it. I love it. I just don't love it as much as one sniper on this list. I will say though, out of every sniper in this game, this one is the most rewarding and satisfying gun to use. The crossbow deserves C tier, and here is why. We all know that this gun is one of the most overpowered weapons in this game. I love using it so much that I believe it should be an S tier, but I also hate going against it so much that it should be an F tier. So I feel like a compromise is in order, and C tier is where this weapon belongs. It's one of the best to use, but it's also one of the worst to go against. Just like the automatic sniper, even though I think the 3-round burst is a little bit better, it just doesn't belong inside of Fortnite. That's why it gets E tier. I think 3-round bursts in this game are just not useful. I don't think they have a spot in this game. I think they just, add to the loot pool, which is so diluted already. The point to this weapon is to shoot 3 shots at a time, but usually 1, maybe 2 hit. Even with insane accuracy, usually you won't hit 3 shots out of that 3-round burst. And I feel like as players begin to build better, it just doesn't have a spot. I think the same reason with the 3-round burst SMG, but there are just so many better options out there. There's the silenced SMG, the regular SMG, the tactical SMG, the combat SMG. Regardless of what you want to pick, I would pick any of those weapons over this one. I think it is useful sometimes if I have no other weapon. I would take it over a pistol. I would take it over a sniper early game. But other than that, I never use it late game because I just don't like it enough. Moving on to the combat shotgun, S tier immediately. I'm not even gonna front with you guys. I think this is one of the most fun shotguns in this game. I think it's one of the most fun weapons in this game. I know I hate going against it when someone horrible is just spraying and I have a pump or I have a weapon that's less superior to this one. But I feel like combat on combat or combat against someone without a combat is always a great fight. This weapon is super satisfying to use, and even if you have to hit 3 shots to kill someone, I would rather take this over the pump any day. Moving on to the combat SMG, I have to put it in C tier. I think it's average. I do think it's worse than the silenced SMG, and I really don't like how it's gold and purple, but it's worse than blue, green, and white SMGs. I also think hip firing with this weapon just isn't as doable as it is with the SMG silenced or regular SMG. This weapon is just okay. The crossbow deserves E tier. I think it's good for killing zombies. That's about it. Moving on to the double barrel shotgun. This one is one of my favorites throughout history, but I have to put it in A tier. As of right now, it's just not as good as it once was, and I feel like the nerf to it really destroyed this weapon for me. I still love using it for the nostalgia factor it does have, but as of right now, it's just not the same thing. Moving on to the drum gun, I have to put it in A tier because it's a shell of its former self. I love this weapon. I think it's one of the most fun weapons to ever be introduced into Fortnite. But just like the double barrel, it's a shell of its former self. I feel like for some weapons, they deserve to be slightly overpowered, if not very overpowered. If you nerf them, if you're thinking about nerfing them, then just take them out of the game because it's sad to see. It's sad to see weapons like these that were once so great, like the double barrel or the drum gun or the deagle, once were so great. Now they're just trash, or they're just not as good as they once were. Not even close to as good, where they become useless. So it's either have them in the game, be slightly overpowered, or just take them out of the game. Oh, this shotgun. This shotgun. This shotgun. Yeah. Yeah, F tier. Just stop. It's so horrible. I hate this weapon. It's so bad. You have to be in someone's throat to do damage, and then they'll 200 pump you. The dual wield pistols, I think they deserve to be in C tier. I don't know why whenever I would die to dual wield pistols, I would always be so upset and say they're so overpowered. But then when I would use them, they're just okay. I mean, I'm not going to use them over a shotgun, and I feel like when people did that and they killed me with them, I would just be pissed. So they're okay, I guess. FAMAS is slightly better than the 3-round burst, but still doesn't belong in the game in my opinion. I think the flint-knock pistol deserves S tier easily. I absolutely love this weapon. It's very similar to the double barrel because it takes forever to reload, but it's very rewarding when you hit your shots. And I feel like for some reason, Epic Games just doesn't like these weapons. The ones that are very rewarding, but they take a long time to reload because I think good players use them. So that's why I think it's out of the game, because it is very overpowered if you're good with it. Same with the double barrel, that's why they nerfed it. And I mean, the fact that it's basically like a glider redeploy, or it can be, is absolutely amazing. One of the best weapons ever to be in this game. This revolver deserves F tier. It's just worse than the regular revolver, the OG revolver. I don't like it as much. It just feels weird. I just can't seem to use it. The deagle's so much better. The grenade launcher deserves S tier. I absolutely love this weapon. I'm so good with it, and people seem to be so bad at countering it, but I'm very good at countering it. And you know what? I'm gonna flex just this one time. Is that okay, guys? Is that fine with you? Can I just say reality and not call it a flex? The guided missile, I think it deserves D tier. I think as of right now, you would get demolished if you tried to use this. People would sneak up on you, break into your box, and blow your head off. But back in the day, it was pretty fun to use every once in a while. I liked rocket riding myself. The deagle deserves B tier. I feel like this weapon, they completely destroyed. I loved it. It's similar to the double barrel and the Tommy gun, but they truly destroyed this weapon. I love taking people's walls with it. You know what? Epic Games didn't like that. And I know maybe it wasn't perfect for the game, but I had the most fun using it, I'll tell you that. Moving on to the AK, I have to put it in S tier. I love it so much more than I love the AR. I'll sometimes take it over the SCAR, like 30% of the time maybe. I love the high damage numbers. They did nerf it, but it still is very good, and I still love using it. It rewards accuracy, and I like that about it. The purple and gold pump, you know where you go. S tier. I love this weapon, and I do like it more than the regular pump. It's one of those weapons when you found it, you're like, holy crap, I'm a god. And that's why I love it. The heavy shotgun deserves B tier, and it's 2 columns below the combat shotgun, and I think it deserves that. I think the combat shotgun is a very much upgraded version of the heavy shotgun. It's just so much better. It does similar damage, if not almost the same. It has like the same range as well. I think the combat is just far superior, but I like the heavy shotgun. The heavy sniper I have to put in S tier. I don't care how much I hate going against it. I love busting into people's walls. I love sniping people with this weapon. It's so overpowered and I love it. The hunting rifle deserves B tier. I think it is a B tier weapon because it's just a little bit worse than the bolt action sniper rifle and the heavy sniper rifle as well. The infantry rifle deserves B tier, and here is why. I know I said I like weapons that reward accuracy, but this one, you have to be a little bit too accurate. I don't like that it has such a small clip size, and I understand why. I think it should have a small clip size, but I don't like it for that fact. The infantry rifle deserves C tier. It's just slightly worse than the gold and epic. I'll use it from time to time, I'll say that. The light machine gun, I really never used it all that much, but I'll put it in C tier. I think it's like a drum gun, but just worse with more ammo. The minigun as of right now deserves B tier. I think it is a great weapon as of right now, and it's viable. It's kind of got a rocky past. I mean, sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad, but it remains in the game, and right now, it is really good. The pistol, F tier, don't even need to talk about it. Proximity launcher, really don't like it all that much. Don't really like the idea behind it. It's just sort of annoying to go against. It's not that great to use. It doesn't do enough damage. E tier. The legendary pump shotgun, and not gold. I'm not talking about gold, but legendary inside of Fortnite. I love this weapon. I think it's great, but I wouldn't take it over the epic and legendary pump, and I wouldn't take it over the combat as of right now. It's still one of the best weapons in this game, and I've loved using it since the inception. The quad launcher deserves to be in C tier. I didn't really have too much problems countering this, in all honesty. I feel like a lot of people thought this was OP, but I mean, just box up. That's all you really have to do. If you're in squads, then good luck, but I didn't really play too much of those. I think it's just a decent weapon. I wouldn't pick it up all the time, but when I would, I would pound with it. The revolver I have to put in C tier. I think it's a decent weapon, but I don't think it's as good as the Deagle is. It's not as fun to use, but this one rewards accuracy like no other. I don't know why it was removed from the game. I guess it's better to have a smaller loot pool, but this one was always a fun weapon to use. The RPG I have to put in S tier. It's one of those weapons that I always loved using. I don't care how long you have to take to reload this thing. I still love using it. I love killing people with it. It's so satisfying. When I'm going against it, it's one of those weapons that I can counter pretty easily. The scoped AR, I think it deserves D tier. It's just not a weapon I like personally. I mean, I can see why you like it. Some people are going to be like, oh, it should be an S tier, but no one really uses it. Let's be honest. No one uses this weapon. I think it's okay. I truly do. People just build too much nowadays. The scoped revolver goes in the F tier. It's one of the worst weapons ever. Semi-auto sniper rifle goes in F tier. It's one of the worst weapons ever. The silenced pistol goes in F tier because it's one of the worst weapons ever. No, I'm joking. This I would probably put in B tier. It's just so much better than the regular pistol. If this was the default pistol, I wouldn't even be mad at that. I think it's actually pretty fun to use, and it can be deadly in the right hands. The silenced SMG is one of my favorite SMGs ever. I have to put it in S tier. I personally like it more than the TAC SMG, and I hope this is the only SMG in the game, or at least it stays in the game forever, and they don't nerf it too hard. I don't know if you guys know this, but back in the day, SMGs used to be absolutely horrible. The 6-shooter, I actually have a newfound respect for this weapon. I think it's C tier. Maybe it's because of Tilted Town, but I think it's okay. I kind of like it. The regular SMG I have to put in C tier. I just don't like it as much as the silenced SMG, in all honesty. This SMG, I mean, it's just horrible. F tier. The silenced SCAR is a weapon I love. I don't like it as much as the regular SCAR, but in certain times I would use it over the regular SCAR, but it's just not as good. It really rewards accuracy, and I'm kind of sad to see it go. The silenced bolt action sniper rifle, I think it goes right next to the regular bolt. I mean, they're basically the same. I don't know if I like either or better or worse, but I like them both. The tactical SMG is in B tier. I just think it's an okay gun. I would rather use the silenced SMG. The tac shotgun deserves D tier. You know what? Screw this weapon. I don't care if it's decent as of right now. I hate this weapon. I hate getting it. It's one of the worst weapons to get. This one, gray, is so bad. Tactical SMG, I have to put in A tier. So I would say that kind of goes to show you what I think about the SMGs. Silence is my favorite. Tactical SMG is my second favorite. Drum gun, I don't know if you'd count that, is probably third. When it was OP, it would be second. I think it's okay. I don't like using it as much as I do a combat, a pump, the legendary pump, the heavy. I'll put it in B tier. The thermal AR, oh my god, it's gotta be an F tier. It's just so bad. It's just unusable. Who's gonna carry it? If you're camping, it's for competitive, let's be honest. And even then, people really don't carry it for a slot. Well, tell me what you guys thought about this video. Do you agree with my list here? I doubt it, but not too many in D, E, or F. A lot more in B, A, and S. So I think that works out nice. So I guess Fortnite really doesn't add as many bad weapons as they do good ones. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If I missed out on any guns, tell me. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.